Don't be laughing at me dancing. Hi, welcome to the show. Welcome to Creative Emotion Show. I am your host, Vaquita Taylor. I do have in studio with me Mr. Chef Wilson.
Oh, yes.
My buddy. You guys know my buddy. I told you guys last week that we are going to be starting a relationship series. And so once a month, we're going to be coming with different topics that are geared toward relationships. Just a few things we'll be talking about. So, again, I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me. You can meet me here every Wednesday at 6 o'clock for really good content. You're going to get this motivation, this good energy, these good vibes. You know what I'm saying? So there are a couple of ways that you can reach me. There are sponsorship opportunities. If, in fact, you want your business to be seen on this platform, you can reach out at creativeemotions3@gmail.com. You can also check out my website, www.thecreativeemotions.com. You can reach me on all platforms, Vaquita Taylor, Q Rising on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to donate, you can go to the Cash App, $, capital Q, RISING, so Q Rising, if you want to donate to this platform. Again, we want to give a big shout out to WGOD and Podcasting Network. Thank you guys so much for having this platform for us to come. You can call, this is a live show, you can call at 313-855-5737, and you can get in on the topic. The topic that we're talking about today is the approach. And so when you think about the approach, a couple of things come to mind. But I do want to do a disclaimer. Like, we are not relationship experts, but I think being life certified makes you an expert. And so that is where we're coming from with the wisdom and knowledge that we do have and our perspective. Because as you know, depending on where you're standing, depending on where you're looking, your perspective will be different. Absolutely. I was telling Chef about a meme that I seen, and it was a giraffe taking a picture of a lion. And of course, the giraffe is much taller than the lion, so he took the picture looking down, and the only thing he was able to see was the top of the lion. He was able to see the tail, and he was able to see just the body of the lion. And so a lot of times when we look at things, we're not seeing the whole picture. And so you didn't see the front of the lion. You didn't see the mane of the lion. You didn't see the eyes or the teeth of the lion. All you was able to see was that top part. So this is our perspective, our experience, and just different things like that. I am a certified life coach. I'm gonna put that out there. I am a certified life coach, and I am taking clients. Self-love coach, if you will, just to be more particular, because a lot of people feel like self-love is, oh yeah, I love myself. Well, a lot of times we do things that don't show that we love ourselves. A lot of times we're not doing those things that show the love that we should have for ourselves, whether it's the food that we eat or, smoking, drinking, whatever it is you're doing, not getting enough rest or, not holding on to things. All of those kind of things are equated to self-love. It's not just going to have a spa day and, different foods that you eat and different things like that. It is what you're doing for yourself to make you the better you. That's how I can explain it. So the approach, if we just get down to the basics, the approach is, the definition of it is come near or nearer to someone or something in a distance or in time. And so this will take a small turn when you think about the approach in relationships, in a relationship series, because the approach is with self first. And so that's where we're coming from.
Absolutely.
You have anything with that, sir?
Oh, I do. So I want to go back to that life certified. The areas where we'll be speaking through these, I don't know how many series we're going to have. It's going to be several, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. These are actually things that we can speak from the heart, because we've been through it.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So, I love that the life certified. So as we even approach talking about relationships, I just want to tell everybody, and I think everyone feels this way, just remember it takes a lot of courage to start all over, Right?
Yeah, definitely.
It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to look inside your heart. So I just want everybody, as we go along with this series, just remember this one thing. Fall in love with your future and not your past. Okay?
Oh, that's good. Come on with it already. You gonna hit us like that?
I'm hitting it like that because, we cooking it up tonight.
Yeah.
So, when we first started discussing this, and I figure like a lot of people will be thinking like approaching someone, but before you approach someone, you must approach yourself. And I have found that out. I have not did it on many occasions.
Wow.
And so, I believe in being transparent.
Definitely.
This is what the platform is all about. I know I've been watching Q for a while. So, I just want everybody just to sit down and take out some time to approach yourself and be honest. Be honest with you, okay? Yeah. Be honest with you. I wrote a couple things here, and it's like, look deep into the areas of your heart and your mind. All the things you've been avoiding for years.
Yeah.
Think about that. All the things you've been avoiding for years. Sometimes we're able to dress them up, get by them so people can't notice it. But just sit down.
Just sit down. Deal with this stuff. It's so much better when we do.
Yes,
It's so much better when we do. When you ask the question. So I have a couple of questions to ask the audience.
Okay.
Ask you, ask me.
Okay.
Have you approached yourself? Because I don't think this may be asked of people in that way. Like, have you approached yourself? And people are like, what you mean? Approaching yourself. If you go back to the definition, it is come near or nearer someone or something in distance or time. So a lot of times we continue on in life disregarding the different things that we've been through that has affected us negatively, and just like, oh, I got it, or I'm straight. We shrug things off and we keep moving. But have you approached yourself just to say, wait, why do I do some of the things that I do? Why do I think the way that I think? I just posted something about that. Like, that's one of the best things I could have done for myself was really self-reflect and say, why do I do what I do? Why do I think that way?
Right.
Immediately if something happened, I say, why did I think that? Like,
absolutely.
Why did I feel that? And so once you start addressing yourself, you'll be better able to answer the next questions. Do you know who you are? A lot of us don't know who we are. I mean, we get to a place where we're doing everything for everybody else, and we call that purpose. Well, really, I do believe that love is purpose.
Yes, it is.
We're supposed to show God's love, and I mean, that's one thing that we should do. But do you know who you are?
So, Q, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like outside of being a parent, outside of being a husband,
yes,
a wife, or
all of that? Like, who are you? What do you?
That's deep because
what are you supposed to be doing?
Wow.
Because immediately, when you have children, it's like, I got to take care of my children and everybody be on that. But
yes,
you're still an individual and you still have a life and you still have a purpose. So do you know who you are? So when you approach yourself, these are some of the things that you can ask yourself.
Absolutely.
What do you have to offer? Because if all you have is broken pieces, because you haven't taken the time to get to know yourself and figure out, why you think the way you think, why you do what you do, then what are you offering to somebody else?
Wow. So is that a question for me now?
I mean...
So when I wake up in the morning, before I put on dad shoes, friend shoes, co-worker shoes, I just wake up and I just realize that, I was put on this earth to create. And I think I was telling you maybe about a week ago, I said, I have to get up every day and write.
Yeah.
And the position that I have at the company I work for now, I create all day. And even with me doing my chef business, I'm creating. So I say a creator, okay? I'm outside a provider, right? So I just love to create. So that's what I get up to every day. That gets me out of the bed because I'm excited about creating something throughout today.
So that's something that you need to know, as far as approaching yourself. Like, Again, who are you and what do you have to offer? Are you healed and ready to invite somebody in? Because if you haven't done those other things, then inviting somebody in will bring more turmoil than peace.
And that was one thing, and I agree with you 100%, Hugh, because I was writing that today, and I said, when I was just saying all the things you've been avoiding for years and how you need to look deep into your heart. So do you have unforgiveness in your heart? Mm-hmm. Do you have trust issues?
Definitely.
Do you have
things
to think about that you're carrying that disappointed you in life? Mm-hmm. Okay. So these are all the things that will stand in the way of a healthy, loving, and peaceful relationship. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you have to be honest with yourself. And you may not like what you see, okay? And I think I said this before, but it's only an opportunity for change.
Definitely.
It's only an opportunity for change, and that just keep rolling in my head, each and every time. And we have to look at this. You can't keep avoiding it.
Yeah, I agree.
We can't keep doing this.
So I have the basic question is, have you approached yourself? Approach yourself first and ask those questions. Those same interview questions
yes.
that you will interview somebody else when you're on a date.
About to interview yourself, right?
Interview yourself.
So you're going to look at yourself.
What you like doing?
Yeah. And and I need you to be honest.
I need you to be honest with yourself. Okay. What you like doing? How you like this? What you like? You know what I'm saying? Like, ask yourself those questions. So Matthew 22:37, this is the King James Version. Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy mind, all thy soul and all thy mind. This the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And so how can you love your neighbor if you don't love yourself? And so if you haven't approached yourself to ask these volatile questions that will probably spare you a whole lot of turmoil and problems, how can you love someone else the way that they may want this love from you?
Absolutely.
Because that's, this is what I notice the problem is. But I go back to, do you know who you are? Do you know that you're a magnificent being, that you are here for a reason, for a purpose, and that your love and your light, it can change somebody's life? That's purpose in itself.
Yes, it is.
You don't need to be ordained for that.
Yes. That's part of that process, like we said, approaching yourself. So I agree. That's part of that process. That's something you will find. I think it's peace in it. And just think about it this way. When you sit down and you take out time to yourself, that self-care, no one's around. You have no need to be embarrassed. And I will continue to say this, be honest with yourself, right? Because God, he already knows. You know what I'm saying?
That's one person you can't hide from.
Sometimes we can do the grams and stuff, and we can fool people with photos and everything else, but God already knows. You know what I'm saying?
You said fool people?
Yeah, we can fool people with the grams, right?
But, not the grams.
Yes.
What is the grams?
Instagram.
Wow.
So I like that, Q. Do you know yourself? And I don't think, no. Outside of how you like to dress, the foods you like to eat, do you know yourself, actually? Do you know yourself beyond what people say about you? Because
people can puff your head up, honey, make you think you just all that. Yes. And you ain't. No. And you got to know that. And be humble. Humble thyself.
We all need to get put in the body shop. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got like a dent on our fender. You know what I'm saying?
He's talking about a dent on the fender.
Yes.
So I did write a poem that I'm going to read, just to show you what I mean by you knowing who you are. This is Clear View. Elevated beyond and still, escalated to another state of consciousness, another realm of realizing the surprise that's inside, that's been residing since you opened your eyes. Formed in the womb is called Holy Spirit. Never alone, have a place to call home. When you sit in silence, listen to the quiet, it's loud. It's called elevation. Step out of denial, the race that leads to another place on the surface. No need to relate to trivial things that bring influential fields of fear, or material that make you feel valuable. Break barriers, bust down doors of complacency before you discover what's inside someone else. Be sure of the first place you need to be. Clear view of you. Have a clear view of you.
Yes.
Approach yourself. This is the approach. If you're just tuning in, we are talking about the approach. We're talking about not the approach when you say, hey, what's your name? Where you from? Oh, can I come?
I know. I
We
love
ain't
that
talking
song.
about that one, though.
No, we're not talking about that
We're
one.
talking about the approach that you look in the mirror and approach yourself. Approach everything that you are. Understand who you are. Understand your purpose and everything that you are. That's important. I think people minimize that, or they make it nice and fluffy, like, oh, I'm going to go have a self-care day and go get a massage and go to the, we ain't talking about that. We talking about going deep
Absolutely.
and cleaning out the mess that's messing up your external, which gives you a bad attitude. It gives you just your disposition is nasty, your spirit is vexed, just all kind of. This is what we're talking about, the approach, because we have people put face on when you get into situations,
Absolutely.
and then the mask come off.
Mask, be like, oh man.
Mask off. Mask off when you bring somebody else into your space. So this is just a reminder for you to look at yourself and think about your approach to you before you can get to somebody else. Again, this is a relationship series, so we're talking about a few things as we go along as far as getting to a relationship in different aspects of it, but this is just the beginning, the foundation, which is you.
And I will go back to, I believe, people, that this is, you will find a certain amount of peace in this process, because I have.
Yeah, me too.
So if you happen to come upon someone and they may notice something in you, instead of getting offended by what they say that they see in you, it'll turn into confirmation.
Definitely.
Right?
If you look at it the right way, yeah.
If you approached yourself already.
Yeah.
So, and you will notice, and please, you will notice that even in with yourself and someone else, you will notice if they have approached themselves, because it'll be confirmation. And it may be like an aha moment. It won't be like they're getting upset.
Defensive.
Absolutely. That's a person who's been avoiding things for years, right? So, yeah, I had wrote that, I believe there's a certain amount of peace in that, and it's time out for the blame game.
Yeah.
It's time out for that.
Definitely.
People see right through that, people.
Yeah.
With the
As
blame.
far as blaming their people that they can't control, like their mama and their daddy and their granny and all that.
Yep.
Yeah,
People,
that's a whole nother situation.
no accountability. We're a very intelligent society now. People find it entertaining, but they see right through it because it never adds up.
Yeah.
It never adds up. So we just need to approach ourselves. Like I was,
You know what I ask people?
What's that?
Are you emotionally available?
Oh, I know. You told me that before.
Yeah.
That would have stopped me in my tracks. Like, I've been like, what? Huh?
Somebody was like, what you mean? Why you asking me that?
Because I thought you was about to say.
That's the same question you ask as if, do you want to get married? You ask them questions. Are you emotionally available? Some people are not emotionally available.
They're not available. No.
And that's approaching yourself to know, guess what? I'm not available. Mentally, I'm not available. You may want that companionship, that connection. You may want that. But you messed up.
Yes.
You got to get yourself together. Like, be real. Approach yourself. We are talking about the approach and not the approach walking up to people, getting to know them. We're talking about the approach to yourself before you even get to that point.
Yes.
And that's it. That's important.
And I would suggest that you open up the door and ask loneliness out. Say, hey, I'm going to ask you to leave. Okay. Look, loneliness. Okay, look, I'm going to ask you to leave,
Yeah.
and I need to get myself together, right?
Okay.
So the pressure of loneliness will have you approach a relationship when you know you're not ready. So
Yeah,
invite
thank you.
loneliness out.
Let him out the door.
Yep.
This way, please.
Yep.
That's why I'm telling you, I said this before, like, I enjoy my company. When you don't enjoy your own company, you in a bad place. When you like, this is, what, I'm about to go crazy because you don't want to deal with you. Oh my God, I have some of the best times just in quiet and silence.
Yes.
And just being able to think. Do you give yourself a chance to think, or are you always on the go?
Yes, you can. See, sometimes you can be busy, right? And I've always said this to people I've known. Are you busy or are you just running?
Running?
Running.
Chasing your tail?
Yeah. So in this process, with this process of approaching yourself, it gives you a chance to work on your spiritual, your mental, and your physical health.
Definitely.
And it also gives you a chance to get your finances in order. Any mature person that you never know who you're going to run into, and they may already have started on these things, right?
Yes.
So they probably expect you as a mature person to have gotten started on them also. Never be so busy that you cannot work on you.
That's good. Yeah. It's like, I don't have time. You looking hit.
Yeah, you looking hit.
And you run around here tomorrow, I ain't got time. For you?
For you.
Nah, bruh.
That's one of my favorite saying. Like, I can forget a lot of things. I can forget to call you back, to return a text message or an email. But how am I going to forget about me?
How you going to forget about you? You walking around with you.
I'll be like, so, when we...
you got to put clothes on that body?
Yeah.
Come on now. You see yourself.
So women and men, I'm going to talk to my brothers. Ladies love security, right? That's how they look of us. It's security. And,
definitely.
Most definitely providers. And so when you approach a woman that's already worked in these areas, I don't know. I guess I feel the frustration when you got to play catch up on the spiritual part.
Oh, God.
And then your mental health is not right.
Oh, God.
And then your physical health. Like,
Jeez.
you're going to make excuses. I'm tired, And your finances, come on. This is all things that should be about you, right?
Yes. Please clap a little harder. A little louder for the people in the back. It's for you first.
Let me tell you something. When I think, even in a basketball game, they take a break, go in the locker room, get themselves together. Football games, a good play, right?
Uh-huh.
You go out, get your nice drink, something to eat on, and you come back. Take a break from being busy, right? And take care of you.
Yes, definitely.
I guess it's very popular for us to, especially as men, to look like we're so busy, we're running, we always got something on deck, we always got a deal that we're closing, right? And I used to always say this on my other show. I said, success is nothing if you're not here to celebrate it. It's called a memorial service.
Yeah, I know that's right.
And, you can check out of here in many, many ways. So before you approach a lady or ladies, you approach a man, we're talking about approaching yourself. Yeah. And that meant so much to me in this year alone, right? Yeah. And actually, it brought so much peace. It brings so much peace when you finally slow down and approach yourself. It was days that I didn't even make my second, my first show, because I was doing some self-care. Okay. Right? And even though in my heart I knew coming on the show was part of my purpose. Yeah. And I made my way back. However, I took out some time for some self-care. Yeah. It may have been just that one Tuesday, and it was much needed, right? Yeah. And I said, Fred, you've been running all day. Take out this time for you. And I took out that time, and I woke up the next day, and I said, thank you, Lord. Yeah. And you was able to consciously do that. Yeah. It doesn't take long, but go ahead.
These are some of the things that we need to approach. Oftentimes, we come straight out of a home with our parents to another human with a set of its own delicacies. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother situation.
Yes.
So have you considered digging deeper into those bad habits that repeat themselves? And what I learned reading today, the people we attract, what we allow, the repetitiveness, we attract a lot of times what we are. And a lot of times people don't understand that you may connect with somebody with the same trauma. That doesn't mean that it's meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You could be in a place where you lost somebody, I lost somebody, and now we holding hands and we together. We was meant. No. No. We just had an experience. Now you able to understand how I feel and keep it moving. You know, I made a analogy of that. Just like, this is how it's been. You outside and you're in your garden, you cleaning out your garden, somebody walk by and they're down or something's going on with them. You stop them, you speak to them, and then you guys get in a really good conversation, and then you give them a word from the Lord, because now you can hear, right? You hear from the Lord, you give them a word, and now you know, they're like, oh my God, I needed that. Like, it was right on time. And then you be like, come on in and come sit down and have some food with me. And now y'all talking, and then you crying together. Now you exchanging traumas, and you going through all of this. And now they calling you the next day, and then the next week, and then y'all hanging out. Then y'all going out. Now y'all whole situation. All you were supposed to do was keep plucking them flowers, give that word, and let them go.
Go, absolutely.
That's something that we have to discern, though. So that's the same thing. What are we attracting? Self-improvement is a healthy way to start a relationship. Yeah.
Because that was the next thing I wrote down. And I said, along in this year, I learned that I have to slow down. And I think I said this on a previous show. I said I have to stop seeing with my eyes, and I have to start listening more, right?
Definitely.
And beginning any relationship. And I realized I don't know if this is a bad habit or what, but the job I do, my position at Chrysler is projects, right?
You do construction.
I do construction. You play too much. However, they're probably one and the same, right? Yeah, you play too much. So I realized in life that I love projects, right? It can be a car, something at home. Mm-hmm. Then I said to myself that today, I said, Fred, you have to stop making people projects.
Wow.
And I wrote it down. I said, it's not my job.
Yeah.
It is not my job to put people together.
Absolutely not.
To encourage, maybe.
That's
right?
deep coming from a man. I'm gonna just say it.
I think in
we
life,
say it all the time. But.
Yeah, when I look back, I've selected people, and to me, because of a sense of accomplishment in it, like I told you, creating something, and I do love it. You know, I build cars and stuff, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I can take a boat and just something old and make it new, like I do at work. Yeah. So I had to realize, and I had to tell myself that is not my job.
And that's not how that works. So I told him, stop saying where he work at, Joe. I said, he do construction.
Construction, I know.
Hey, you got that profit share coming up, buddy. You better stop talking about
got the Target on your back.
Right, you work at, that's where you work at, Target. That's
I don't wear no more Chrysler shirts.
So there is no one-size-fit-all approach to self-love and improvement. And so we have to engage with a little trial and error. And
absolutely.
That's what we've done, in my situation. Unfortunately, some things don't come out until the situation presents itself, and by that time, you may already be involved with someone else. Yes. And so we're saying approach yourself, but hey, if you are already in a relationship, it's still not late. It's not too late for you to approach yourself and really pull back and, get down to the bottom. Is don't fret. Self-realization of self is the most mature adult way to handle shortcomings. And so a lot of times, people don't want to say that they are wrong or, that, they made a bad choice or decision. Absolutely. Even if you're in a situation to say, you know what, this might not be right, or this may not be for me. Let me pull back and let's just do this the adult way. A lot of times we worry about how people feel. Like, absolutely. I don't like to hurt people's feelings. And so it's like, you deal with stuff, but you should just say it.
I know.
You should just say what it is and go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, not in a rude way, but, for real. And if you are in a relationship, like I said, and it's toxic, draining, and running on fumes because the root cause is not dealt with, you need to run.
Yes. And I have been talking, and this I'm going to speak for myself and maybe the man that I spoke with. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we're very competitive, right? So the thought of losing is sickening to us, right? Mm. So, but it's okay to say, as a man, say, sweetheart, this just isn't working for me. And that's okay. Right?
And that's okay.
And it's okay. That's all right. Lose that thing. Yeah. Lose that thing, and it's something.
Give him some on that. Give him some on that. Just
yes.
Stop playing them games and just say, what?
Right.
We can't. This ain't working.
It's not working for me.
Or
I've been practicing that. I'm just look you right in the eyes and say, I'm sorry, sweetheart. This just isn't working for me.
Why is that not normal, though?
I don't know. Because we just hate to lose, so we just figure like we're always going to find a way to make this work in order to come out on the winning end. Quitting, we hear things like quitting is not an option, right? Go hard or go home, right? Mm-hmm. So these are things that keep you in situations. It can be even a job. I'm just sorry, but just keep you somewhere where God has another door for you, and you just stay there way too long, right? And the outcome is usually pretty bad.
It's pretty bad
when you stay somewhere.
Feelings and heart and emotions in it. Yeah. But can we make that normal?
What part?
Just to say
that's not working for me.
That's not working for me.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, thank you so much, but it's not working.
It's not working. Yeah. And it's hard for us, man, because we like beautiful things. So if the package is put together well, it's just like, man, it's hard for you to leave it alone, right?
But that's something it can
but
just
there's
save
other packages
a lot.
out there.
It can just save a lot. I just feel like, it's, again, when you think about yourself, you can't compare yourself to anybody because there's nobody like you in the world. And so when you think about that, if you're not a person's cup of tea, that doesn't make you a bad person.
That's right.
That just means you're not for them.
All right.
And it's okay. But we're talking about that approach to yourself to make sure that the areas that you are lacking in, those are the things that you can work on. Just having this time to really look at myself and deal with myself, coming from a teenager out of high school, a little bit of college, to moving in with somebody, to having children, getting married, and being married young, dealing with all kind of stuff, and then you get to an adult, and you've been in survival mode, and so now all that stuff, who is going to come out on?
The next person. That
this
really.
Is the point. This is why we need to approach this. Like, you really have to sit down in the quiet, and I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit will give you everything you need. Yes. Nobody has to tell you that.
Yeah.
Like, I've had times where I just sat in my car and stuff just came to me like, oh, wow. You really look at, like, stuff you've been through and how it's affected you. And I'm like, I've had times I just sat there, like, bawling, like, dang. That's serious. That's deep. But it was something I was able to deal with. But that's my relationship with the Holy Spirit, to show me the areas that I was lacking in. Like, this is why you allowing this. And it's like, oh, this is why you've attracted this. Wow, this is what you need to do. Okay, forgive that and let that go. Okay, when you do that, then this is going to happen. And that's how we get our internal download so that we can approach ourselves delicately and be kind to yourself. Yes. Like, some stuff you can't help. How you come in and how you've grown, or, the household you've been in, or whatever it is, the situation. We have to deal with those things and drop those bags off and stop, like, carrying it on.
Absolutely. I agree. So I like that. And so, people, please get a pen and paper and make your list. And it may take you a week, and that's okay. And you're not going to like everything on the list, and that's okay, right? And that's okay, but that's part of the approach. Anybody that's an adult, just fast forward this thing. How much longer do you plan on doing this, right?
Listen.
Yeah.
Life is beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And we should not spend time trying to force squares into triangles.
No, we shouldn't.
Let it go.
So, start.
It don't fit.
Yeah, let's start with ourselves. And then one other thing I had wrote down, and in part of this process, before you move on, I think it's okay, and I think you should, men, women, look in the mirror and just say, my integrity is not for sale.
You better. Come on in.
You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes we'll do that because maybe something we've been wanting for so long, it finally presents itself, right? And it's only 20% of the package.
Yeah,
right?
just a little bit.
So you'll sell yourself for the 20, right? And the 80 is not there. It may be the finances there, the looks there, whatever the case. So you do not sell your integrity for the 20.
Wow, that's good.
The 80 will break you. And this is
you just get a revelation.
And I'm very transparent, and I don't care, accountability. I have done it, right? And the 80 broke it. And the 20 was not enough to sustain it, right? Now, if I had taken out time to approach myself, look in the mirror and say, Fred, you know what? It's like a cake. Put it back in the oven because it's not ready. You got to pull this boy out and it's going to fall, right?
And he came with the cake
And you can't wait,
Lord.
man. That cake looking good. You want to put the icing on it and everything.
Already, and it ain't even done on the inside.
Close the oven back up.
Nasty.
Right. So as we move forward with this, I know we like to, me personally, I put humor to it because I learned to laugh at myself. But it's very serious. All the things we're talking about here it's only one small part of life because you have your purpose in life. And if you want to be in a relationship or married, and that's just fine, but remember, approach yourself, get this thing right so you can get back to your purpose.
Yeah.
It's all a distraction. Right?
Definitely.
That part
So
right there.
what is your approach? So I just want to, bring up a few things that we can talk about.
Okay.
Having a gradual pace with yourself. It's no quick fixes, one change at a time. If you want to, start working out and get yourself together, go buy the workout clothes. And then check out a gym, go get a Fitbit.
Yes.
Go buy the shoes. Like one thing at a time. And this is your journey, it's your race. We're talking about the approach and making sure that you are approachable after you finish approaching yourself. Make sure you good.
Yes.
Goal oriented, having goals in mind for yourself. A lot of people, that's just I'm saving for a house. I'm getting me a house this year.
I know.
I'm like, I want this type of vehicle that I want. I want this. So I'm not waiting to say, I'm just going to wait because my husband might come and then, no, set your goals because they're for you. And if something comes in between then it can go accordingly, but make those goals be goal-oriented with yourself so that you can be intentional with things. I always talk about being intentional because that's all. We have to give our money something to do. We have to give our time something to do because if we don't, money gonna go, time gonna go, and those are things that we really can't get back. You can get money back, but can't get that time back. So having accountability partners, having somebody that you can call and just, say, hey, I set this goal for myself, just make sure, just hold me accountable. And, you have those. If you can call somebody to gossip, well, you should have somebody that you can, because dudes gossip too, so it ain't just females.
Yeah.
So you can call somebody like, hey, bro, make sure, call me, text me at this time or whatever. Like, you can do that too. Reward yourself. Start paying yourself. Do different things for you. Like, you know what? I completed that goal. I'm going to go and buy me something. Not buying because you're emotional or you're trying to hide something, because those are the things we're talking about with the approach, that you deal with those things so that you're not directing your energy elsewhere. You bring it all in. Bring it all in so then it can come all out and you can be the best person, the person that you should be. Date yourself.
I was just about to say that.
date yourself. I do
Yes.
all the time. People think I'm weird. This guy was like, I ain't going to the movies by myself. Why would I go to the movies by myself? Man, you better love on your own company. I go out to eat, like, just one. Thank you.
What I tell you?
Nice restaurant. So going to a nice restaurant is that's nothing that's going to make me say, ooh, he took me to a nice restaurant. I do that for myself. I like it, if that's what you want to do, but it's not a determining factor on me judging your character. I'm still, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
People feel like, no, that's just a little piece. But date yourself. That's important.
Yes,
that's important. Personalize everything for yourself. Again, this is your journey. This is something that you have to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and really like what you see. So that means doing people right, doing yourself right. Make sure you're taking that time out. We got this one life. We got this one earth suit. And we just have to, do what we need to do. So have it your way. What works for one person may not work for the next.
Absolutely.
Waking up early in the morning may not work for you to go work out, but it may work out for me. So do what's best for you. Do you have an action plan to approach those unmended situations in your life? That just kind of sums it up. You have something on it?
Yeah, and I was going to tell the people, your action plan should be to get a team together. Go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Right? You got to have an action plan, right? Prayer.
Prayer is a must.
It's a must, right?
Definitely.
So you have to have a plan to attack these areas because they're not going to heal themselves.
Yes.
They're not.
I agree.
They're not going to, and it's a lot of things that have been swept under the rug for years. And it may have not came from a relationship per se. It could have came right out of your home you were raised in.
Definitely.
Right? And approaching yourself, and I think I had put that at the end of one of my notes. Mm-hmm. I said dealing with this area can also benefit your family, your children, your friends, and coworkers. So just not a person that you plan on dating, it's going to benefit when you approach yourself. You'll see that your relationship with your children will be better.
Definitely.
Because some of us need some healing in that area, right? And then with family and friends, some of you guys have issues there, right? And maybe it comes from you not confronting and approaching yourself. So I guess we were talking about from the perspective of dating, but this process is good for so many other parts of your life.
Definitely.
So many other parts of your life. So I like the things that you did add.
Yeah. What we ultimately need is balance. This is balance. And this is, again, if you're just watching, I hope you guys share this with people that you know. Again, this is just encouragement and motivation, information. We are not saying that we are experts on this, but we are life certified, which means we've been through life, different perspective, we're different ages, and, different way of looking at things. And this is just nuggets, like chew up the meat, spit out the bones. Some things you can take from this, some things you may already know. But I feel like in this life, each one should reach one. And that's on my platform, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get good information, get some real situations, some transparency, and, just a push to be the best version of yourself. You got to know that you're amazing. Do you know that? Man. Do you know that you're amazing? I need you to know that.
I know I am.
You know that?
Yep. I was flirting with myself today. I had walked past the mirror and I doubled back. I was like, boy, you better stop it now. But know that you are amazing in the gifts that God gave you.
Definitely.
Right? That's amazing when you just can discover, like, man, these are gifts that God just didn't give to anyone. He gave them to me.
Yeah.
And mine may not be yours.
Mine are not yours.
No, and you have to know that you're amazing and never look at another person's success or gifts. They're not yours. Mm-hmm. You will not really do not try to mimic that. Please. Tap into yours.
Yes,
right?
That's
so
good.
I like that. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You are amazing.
That goes to my next point.
What's that?
Self-actualize people. So when you have those people accept themselves and others as they are. This took a minute. I'm not gonna say a minute, but this is a gradual thing. When you just go through life, looking at people for who they are without judging them, without being self-righteous.
Yes.
You know, we can be self-righteous. And I noticed that, like, when I was younger and I didn't do certain things, you know, people be like, oh, you want to go here? I was like, oh, I don't do this and I don't do that and I don't do that. I'm naming all this stuff like it made me better. But then how did that make them look?
Wow.
If I'm saying, oh, I don't do that. Oh, I don't do this and I don't do that and I don't do that. They looking like, well, I do it, but do that make me a bad person? You know what I'm saying? And people are walking around with this self-righteous attitude. But when you come to a place of self-actualization, you start looking at people like, okay, you like that because that's what you've been through. That's your perspective. That's how you think. Has nothing to do with me. And I'm not interested in changing your mind about how you feel about you. And so the Holy Spirit told me, a few months ago, don't tell anybody anything. Invite them in. And so I don't tell people as a matter of fact, like, I'm right, you're wrong. I don't have the desire to be right anymore.
Yes.
Because that's the thing. Like, people just like, oh, I got to be right, so I'm going to go back and forth with you until you get my point. We don't have to do that with each other. And when people start to realize that, then you can start understanding people better. Like, okay, you are the way you are because of what you've been through in your experiences. I am the way that I am. So once we start, you know, looking at people in that way, we have a whole different compassion and love level that we you know, operate in. And so that's where I am on my journey.
Okay.
So are you a actualized person? They find humor in any given situation. They get enjoyment and satisfaction out of the present moment, understanding what they need in order to gain a sense of fulfillment.
Yes.
That's how you are?
Yes.
That's where you at?
I know, and maybe that's, I find good in anything and everybody. And sometimes not deserving because they haven't approached themselves. Yeah. But I do. I told you earlier, I've learned how to laugh at myself. And yeah, that's me. So
there is a couple of groups while we wrap up. We got about 8 more minutes.
Yeah, 8? Okay.
So self-actualization is the morality, creativity, acceptance. And so I'm just reading you off a couple of categories that you can just rate yourself and just see where you are and what's important to you. Experience. So your purpose, meaning, and inner potential. So again, just, you know, hear these things out and see where you are in this list. Self-esteem. So your confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual. Like, are these things important to you? So love and belonging. When we talk about love and belonging, it's friendship, family, intimacy, and a sense of connection. I know a lot of us, you know, that's what we look for. That's what we do. A lot of things that we do because we're looking for that sense of connection. Safety and security, your health, your employment, your property, family, and social stability. So, you know, that's an issue where a lot of people may be functioning in depression, anxiety, you know, different things like that. Your sociological needs, breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. These are different things that are very important when we're talking about the approach, coming up into the person that you desire to be, not because of anybody else, but measuring yourself up to these things to take note of what you have or what you lack and just move forward toward that.
Yes.
So you have anything else?
That was pretty powerful there.
Yeah.
You're pretty amazing.
Oh, thank you. Me too.
I just wanted to leave everybody with this, a couple of things that I said earlier. The journey is not easy, and that's okay, right? So remember, you know, it takes courage to start over again. And we're just not talking about with relationships. You may have had a point of your life where you approach yourself and then you stop. So it's going to take courage to start that process again.
Definitely.
Right? And then the other thing I wanted to leave is fall in love with your future and not your past. So anything that's happened in the past, you can't hold on to it because you cannot change it.
That's
right?
the truth. You can use it.
Yeah, and I think you told me this months ago. You said, Fred, you know, all you have is the now.
Yes.
You can't live in the past, too far in the future, right? but you can fall in love with the hope of what you're hoping for in the future for your life, right?
Definitely.
And that sure is a lot better than focusing on what's behind you, right? You know what I'm saying? So I just want to leave everybody with that. I love being on this platform. It's very positive. The vibes are good in this room. It is. And I just wanted to say, you know, not even your mistakes can get in the way of your purpose.
Yeah.
And I know I've said that before, but people really need to look.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. To think about what I'm saying there, right? Because that can stop you cold in your tracks. And you may have we all have amazing gifts, right? So keep moving forward. It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Be kind.
Be kind when you move forward, though. You know?
Be kind.
Yes.
If you like, just stay away from people for now and deal with that. It's okay.
Yes.
And just tell people, you know, life is beautiful and you can have very delicious experiences and connections.
Oh, I'm about to write that down. Very delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. They real good.
Wow.
But that don't mean you have to sit at the table and stay at the table. It's okay. we have good experience with people.
Yeah.
And we're experiencing this life. And I hope that you are approaching some things with yourself.
Absolutely.
As I have stated, I have and will continue. We will never arrive. We will always be striving just to become who we are. I mean, we are who we are, but we're just striving to be better. That don't mean that you can't be in a place of contentment, because we should be content, because we can't take any of this stuff with us, nothing and nobody. And so being okay with where you are and saying, you know what, I have everything I need at this moment, that brings us in a place of gratefulness and thankfulness, and having that spirit, putting that out into the world. And I mean, it you have nothing but good things that's going to come from that into you. And so it's all it's all mind state, a mindset where we think we don't have enough, or we don't got it, or we got to go get it. No, everything you need is already there. You just have to quiet yourself, approach the situation, and be intentional. I pray that this has helped one person, because you know if it helped one person, it's done its job. Yes. But I hope that it can help a multitude of people. I pray that, you know, we would get our mind off distractions and things that are not edifying to our spirits, where we can enjoy our time here, you know, while we're here, that people would get focused on those things that just bring out the best in them.
Absolutely.
You're amazing.
Yeah. Yes, you are amazing.
I thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Chef Fred. Again, we're going to have this relationship series once a month, and we're going to talk about some really good stuff. And so I'll let you know what we're talking about before we talk about it, so you guys can get excited.
So next one is what? The question.
The question.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, I'm about to, delicious experiences. I'm using that. That boy is fire right there.
Listen, it is what it is.
Dropping them nuggets.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please see me here next week. I have this wonderful woman that's coming with, let me tell you, this story that she has, oh my goodness, it's going to blow you away. And she's an amazing woman. I can't tell you the story because she has to tell you, but I want you guys to meet me here next week at 6 o'clock. And don't be late. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.